What's going on, guys? There seems to be a little bit of confusion between 720p and 1080p between the console wars, so I'm here to set a few things straight. First off, 1080p does not necessarily mean you get better quality, but generally as a hand-in-hand it normally does. You can take a VHS, let's say your favorite old movie, let's say an old Godzilla movie, or your own Home Alone, or Land Before Time, whatever VHS you really feel like putting in there. You can rip it using a Dazzle or something like that, put it on your computer, put it into any video editing software, as long as it supports it, and then in which case you can export it as 1080p, 60 frames a second. I mean, it won't look any better, but you can put it out as 1080p. You can play it. You can make it even Blu-ray if you want. But it doesn't mean it'll make it better. You'll have to play it on a Blu-ray player if you burn it, but still stands. Not better. But in most general cases, as in television or movies, the 720 versus 1080 or 2K to 4K, you know, there's going to be a quality difference in texture details. But also with the consoles, people don't realize that RAM really does matter. Yes, you have the ES RAM that is a lot more powerful. Yes, it is a different type of technology and you don't need that much, hence why they only have 30 megabytes of it in the Xbox One. I have a gaming PC that has 8 gigs of RAM in it. High performance 1866 RAM. If I go on to PlanetSide 2 right now, everything with my build is maxed out. Every bit of it. Except texture detail. Texture detail with DDR3, 8 gigs of high performance, 1866 RAM, the texture quality is on low. Now, by no means the game is not bad looking at all. It looks beautiful. But that makes it still at the low settings. Now, if there was a motherboard that I could get at a decent price and if I could get some DDR5 RAM and put in that, then it would look so much better. I'd probably be running high graphics with that. And my last video, I specifically went over that the Xbox One will not have 1080p games. And if no one caught that, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate. Full 1080p. Now when I say full 1080p, I mean 1080p, 60 frames a second on the game. You will have 1080p games, as people pointed out to me. There are Forza, Tomb Raider, NBA 2K14, and FIFA 14. There are a few other games in that category, but those are the main ones that keep running around the board. Yes. Sports games. Not that graphically intense. Yes, there are some things moving around. Yeah, the players. But the only thing that's moving around that you actually need the 60 frames is the ball. The ball is being thrown, kicked, or some form of that. The basketball, you're in a small court, you have a few character models that either move or don't move, or yet if they do, they're doing the same motions. And then Forza, or even Need for Speed. Yes, the graphics look amazing. I've seen all the details on it, but they've also dumbed it down since the dev kit was released. And also, they use motion blur, with the neat little tricks you have to do with the Xbox. You can load the graphics within a certain area. Everything outside of it, lower detail. Like in, most games you can have 100 yards away, and it could be preloaded. But since you have to do little tidbits and workarounds and tricks, the Xbox you have to be what's within field of view. Anything in the field of view will be loaded. Anything outside the field of view will not. As you move forward, you're in this little bubble of what is loaded. What is behind you is deloading, what is in front of you is loading. The PlayStation 4, you do not have to do that as bad. It is just, you load the area, it can hold it. Yes, the Xbox has the potential of actually being able to be a par, but here's the thing though. If you have to start with doing the tricks, well, what happens when you get to the point where the PlayStation decides to start doing those tricks? They can still surpass no matter what. Yes, there are tricks and the developers are going to have to learn to deal with it. But that's kind of a dick move. You're making them do what you want them to. So they should have just improved it. Yes. Everybody's going to say the ES RAM is going to be good. But you're starting with the tricks out the door. Not a good thing. Yet they're going to have to work around it and develop two different things for two different systems. Now, I understand the Xbox One is more for an entertainment system. Yes. As people kept commenting, the entire point of the last video is to point out the graphical performance and out the get-go, the differences between the consoles. You cannot argue that the Xbox One is more powerful. Even with the ES RAM, it is not. If you look at the performances, it will not up par. And I will re-say it again. you can do these tricks to get it to work. But once you get those tricks to work, you're kind of out of so many options, and then once PlayStation decides to do those tricks, they're still going to be farther ahead. There is going to have to be some sort of performance upgrades or less intense software to go along with it. Because it is a modified version of Windows 8 that you're running on your Xbox One. They need to take stuff out of it or lighten the load, because Windows 8 is not necessarily the easiest bit of thing to run. You can run it on smaller systems. I think you can go to 2 gigs of RAMs on the minimal on it, on the original version of Windows 8. It is modified, but they gotta make it light if they want to put more into it. Everyone says, well, they're just not using the full performance of the system yet because they don't know how to do it. The point's still there that they're having to learn. They're making it more difficult on the developers to get this to work. So I'm not bashing the Xbox One. I will say it again in this one. I will buy an Xbox One because I like the exclusive. I like Titanfall. Titanfall is going to be exclusively on the Xbox One, not PlayStation 4. Maybe Titanfall 2, but that's a different story. But in which case, to the point, the PlayStation 4 is still more powerful than the Xbox One, even with all the workarounds. I am sad to say that. I've been loyal to Xbox for quite some time, but you can't kind of go around that. If you want more graphical performance, go buy a PlayStation 4. If you like the exclusives and you're fine with the 720, then okay, buy an Xbox One. If it doesn't bother you, okay. It doesn't bother me. My TV doesn't do 1080p, so it's not like it matters to me. But with the detail of the games, with the graphics, it does not correlate or coincide with the 1080p or 720. You can have really good detail on 720, 60 frames a second, versus 1080p, 30 frames a second. Battlefield for quite a while run at 30 frames a second. Yeah, you were slower. Everybody was like, ooh, 360 quickscope on Call of Duty because of the 60 frames. The quality difference was tremendously different. You could see the difference. If anyone says Call of Duty looked better, I think it might be time to visit the eye doctor. So with that being said, I hope that cleared up a few things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little bit of a rant, because so many people had such a problem with what I had said before. Hopefully this clears things up and gets the point across. I'm not a PlayStation fanboy, I will buy an Xbox. But I will respect the PlayStation 4 as a more graphically powerful console until the Xbox is done with. Until Microsoft does something with the Xbox One. If they do upgrades, then I'll be happy. But until next time, guys, hopefully you guys got enough information out of this and can clear a few things up with your friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you do enjoy and want to get updates on when I'm releasing new content. Until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later.